I'm here in sunny Margate, home of course to Hornby, the Hornby HQ and Wonderworks. Well, why am I here? Well, I have an exclusive preview of something very, very special indeed. This weekend, Hornby is opening its doors to the public for a fantastic open weekend. Lots of fun, lots of model railways, but also it's the public's very first chance to get a glimpse at this unique collection, the one-to-one collection. So let's go take a look. Join me as I explore the exciting world of model railways with behind-the-scenes features, step-by-step tutorials, interviews, videos, reviews and much, much more. I'm Dawn Quest and I love building model railways. The One-to-One collection is an ambitious project brought to life by Locomotive Storage Limited, owned by British businessman and railway enthusiast Jeremy Hosking. It's a unique collection of historic locomotives, rolling stock and maintenance vehicles. Its mission to preserve, protect and celebrate some of the most important survivors of Britain's rail story, many of which are the last of their kind. The team embarked on this journey back in 2017, searching for the space and facilities needed to care for such a precious collection. They found it at the Hornby site itself, a place steeped in railway nostalgia, making Margate the new home for railway giants.
Is a museum which is still pretty much in the making. It's not complete, but it's got some absolutely amazing exhibits already, and we're basically covering full-size locomotives, large-scale model engineered collections, and also an amazing O-gauge.
At the end of this video, I'll have all the details on how you can experience the one-to-one collection for yourself, but more on that later. So just what kind of treasures does the one-to-one collection hold? Well, there's the BR 45379 Black 5 steam locomotive, the mighty Cowan Sheldon 50-ton breakdown crane, and some truly historic carriages. The lineup also boasts an early Eurostar power car, bringing the high-speed story right up to date, and poignantly the funeral carriage that bore Winston Churchill on his final journey. One of the centrepieces of the one-to-one collection is the iconic Royal Scot, a rebuilt LMS Royal Scot Class 460 express passenger locomotive, originally constructed in 1927 at Crew Works. This loco has a rich history, including identity swapping with number 6152, the King's Dragoon Guardsman in 1933. After which it toured North America and even crossed the Rockies, covering 11,194 miles and being seen by over 3 million people. It was retired from service in 1962 and famously spent some time at the Butlins holiday camp in Skegness after being bought by Billy Butlin himself. It's now owned by the Royal Scot Locomotive and General Trust, but is stored here at Margate as a centrepiece of the one-to-one collection. Nestled among some of these giants, there's room for, shall we say, more humble pieces, but no less significant. The Wickham trolley, originally built by D. Wickham & Co. Limited in Ware, Hertfordshire, may look small and humble, but it was a vital part of the railways, primarily used for permanent way maintenance. Wickham trolleys were designed to transport track workers and their equipment along the railway lines, enabling quick inspection and repair on a lightweight, nimble vehicle, suitable for all but the busiest tracks. Now, as you may know, I've got two exhibition layouts, both of them based on British films. I've got Brief Encounter and I've got The Lady Killers. Now then, people keep asking me, Dawn, what's your next layout going to be? What film are you going to base it on? Well, this little unit behind me has a very special place in British movie history because it featured no less in one of the St. Trinian's films. But no, I'm not sure yet whether St. Trinian's is going to be my next layout. You're just going to have to wait and see. One of my favourite pieces here is the stunning Beavertail observation carriage. This unique carriage is one of just two originally built in 1937 for the coronation of King George VI. Designed by none other than Sir Nigel Gresley. The Beavertail earned its nickname from its distinct fast-back sloping glazed rear section, offering panoramic views for passengers and finished in a handsome two-tone blue and silver livery. This carriage was built to perfectly complement the streamlined Coronation, both functionally and stylistically. The carriage here at Margate has been lovingly restored, both its exterior and interior, as you can see. And while visitors unfortunately won't be able to step inside the carriage this weekend, just being up close to the Beavertail is an experience in itself. Perhaps the most intriguing of the exhibits are what are referred to as the Grandtown coaches.
And these two coaches, which are early 1959, 1960 BR Mark 1s, they were actually located in Grandtown on Spey in the Scottish Highlands. And they'd been purchased by a wealthy American lady who'd bought an estate, a small estate, based around the Grandtown East Station, which went out of commission during the 1960s beaching cuts. And she, having bought the estate, the station was still there, beautiful granite building and granite platforms and so on. So she decided she wanted to create a Highland centre, cultural centre and railway centre. So she purchased the two Mark 1 coaches, she purchased the track, had them laid, had them joined together. I call them conjoined actually, because they're sort of joined partly overlapping, to create a very large 20 foot square kitchen and servery area in the middle. And then in each of the coaches, 32 seats for diners to eat in. And so they became available because unfortunately the Highland season is about 4 months long and it's not that easy to keep these things going. So she in the end decided to move back to America. She sold the whole site. The new owners had no particular use for these coaches, so we purchased them from them, and that was the easy bit. Getting them down here, 600 miles by road, was a bit more tricky, and even just separating them and then rejoining them together to make them a safe, solid platform effectively, that was a challenge.
And you told me you used a particular tool to separate these two coaches. Tell me again.
Yeah, it's a gas axe.
I love that. A gas axe, everybody.
Exactly. Yeah.
Restoration is at the heart of the one-to-one ethos. Every piece that enters the collection is cared for, with many being painstakingly returned to museum condition or even recertified for use on heritage lines. The one-to-one collection is very much a work in progress. It's a living, evolving testament to the UK's rich heritage of railways. And while curating these incredible specimens was quite the challenge, getting them here was another challenge altogether.
So they all come in on very large scale low load, especially adapted for the purpose. And in order to accommodate those, we had to completely relay the entrance loading bays. The original Hornby warehouse had 3 8-foot wide loading bays. It's now got 3 20-foot wide loading bays where the low loaders can reverse in and go onto the tracks that we've laid in the main warehouse. The really tricky bit though is getting vehicles up onto this mezzanine floor, and for that we had to build a very substantial concrete ramp externally, and it was built originally to accommodate a 40-foot Arctic with a London bus on the back because it wasn't contemplated that we'd have full-size rail vehicles up here. And then Jeremy thought we might just add some full-size rail vehicles. We did it.
Thanks to the sheer size of the warehouse, the one-to-one collection is also bringing in other icons of transport history from across the ages. There's a stagecoach, a bus, even a Russian tank. And then there's this little gem. This comes from the original miniature railway at Margate's Dreamland. It was built for Dreamland in 1959, but experts think that parts of the loco go back as far as 1905 to a loco called Petrolia, which was built for Blakesley Hall Railway in Northamptonshire. If you're a fan of railway memorabilia, then you're in luck. One of the latest arrivals at the one-to-one collection is a true icon of the modern railway age, the old Euston Station Departures Board.
Responded to a request from Network Rail back in early 2023 as to who could accommodate this 22 metres wide, 2.5 metres high, 2.5 tonne departures board that was being removed from Euston. And that request went out to National Rail Museum, the Sheldon Museum, and 1 or 2 other locations. When I got the dimensions, I immediately realised that the pillars in this building are 20 metres apart, and we could easily accommodate a structure of that sort of size. So we put our hand up and said, yes, we could take it if you're prepared to let us have it, and we'll look after it and take care of it. And then they said, we'll even connect you to the Network Rail timetabling network. So we have, since about the middle of last year, middle of 2024. This has been in place and it's plugged into the Network Rail time schedule. So I think people will enjoy sitting here, having a coffee or a beer, because we've got a local brewery coming and serving over the weekend, and just observing the departures and so on. It's quite mesmeric, actually. It's quite absorbing.
My name in lights at last. The one-to-one collection is still growing and evolving, with new arrivals, regular rotations, and plans to open more frequently for the public in the future. Much of the collection is privately owned or on loan from museums and heritage lines. Sometimes these vehicles have no current place to go, and without this project they might have been scrapped or left to deteriorate. Here they're given a safe home, a new chapter, and a future. The goal is simple: preserve, conserve, and share railway heritage for generations to come. And with a few last-minute preparations, they're nearly ready to open the doors wide to the public this weekend. The event runs both on Saturday the 9th and Sunday the 10th of August. Inside Wonderworks, it's all about interactivity, with scenic layouts, a Scalextric fastest lap challenge, painting and building at the Airfix zone, and a play area for the youngest visitors. The real showstopper is, of course, walking amongst these giants, but there's also something for the model railway fan on a smaller scale.
It's a bit of a strange combination of classic retro railway modelling, which with modern technology. The remit was to display the collection's large-scale vintage three-rail collection of locomotives and rolling stock, which presented us with an operational conundrum, because that requires a lot of heavy-duty electrical engineering. And we wanted to use the original steel three-rail track that was built by Hornby in 1936 in their Liverpool factory. We decided quite late on in the development of this layout that we would adopt Bluetooth technology to operate the layout, meaning that one person can operate the layout as opposed to four. We're still in the development stages on that, but we've got 2 or 3 models that are now fully working. We're keeping the original models as they are, so they're in their historical condition, and we're retrofitting reproduction vintage models with the Bluetooth technology. I personally am really proud of the fact that we're using all the original track. This is probably the biggest collection of original Hornby track. We tried to get more of it, but it's just not there.
The weekend is bringing together railway and hobby clubs from all around the region. Faversham, Folkestone and Isle of Thanet model railway clubs will be in attendance, as well as Warlord Games and teams from Hornby Magazine and Airfix Model World. And you can find the link for all the information and how to get tickets below this video. It's certainly an opportunity not to be missed. That's it from me on Model Railway Quest. Take care and see you next time. If you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of all my future videos. And why not browse the shop at modelrailwayquest.com/shop. I'm Dawn Quest and this is Model Railway Quest.